Morning, afraid, he opens his eyes against his better judgment. The waiting day, like any other, will ask things of him. He is sure of that. He will have to endeavour. He will have to endure. He will have to wear clothes. There may have to be ablutions. There could be. There almost certainly will be. All manner of indignities. There will be things to do. That is how it is with days. There are always things to do. There will be the risk of random encounters, the threat implicit in hello, the conversations that ensue, the witless bonhomie, the idle chat, bleep bray, pass wind, piss shit, opine. The aunt who's off her trolley is on a trolley in the matter. There's no beds, the sighs and shrugs that built the nation. He is dismissive of the human herd, their dull routines, their bland interests, their blithe disregard for their one life passing, their moments missed while waiting for the moment. He thinks there should be more, or less. He thinks that he should end it now. He fights back. These thoughts aren't his. He doesn't want to end it now. He wants it to begin. He wants to frolic, gamble and play among the human herd, to graze in their pastures, drink at their watering holes, lock horns, rut. He wants to live. He wants to love. He wants to laugh. Just not today. The problem is that he's so tired of trudging up that hill. He stops. He thinks. His thoughts annoy. Is there a hill? He scours the landscape of his mind, the nooks, crannies and cul-de-sacs, the wrong turns, the uncharted waters. There is no hill. He sighs. He steels himself to trudge on up the hill that isn't. He lifts one foot after another out of the bed. He assembles the splinters of himself. He dresses without waking his wife. His day begins like any other, heroically. He makes coffee and rolls 3 cigarettes. He goes outside with the dog. He breathes in the sky and the cigarette smoke. He walks the land. He has found himself spending more and more time in out-of-the-way places around their acre of garden. He stands by the bins in all weathers, or leans against one of the trees in the shelter belt at the back of the house, or sits smoking in the wash shed in the dark. He looks at the house, their home, as though it were an alien entity that had co-opted his life, his loved ones, his dog, his favourite cup. Something, he knows not what, has shifted in him. He lights one cigarette off another and kicks a bowl for the dog. He is not completely without purpose. He urinates outside. He does this increasingly due to a deteriorating relationship with the toilet. The dog joins him. He goes back inside. He makes more coffee, rolls more cigarettes. He sits on the couch with the dog and checks his phone for news. He goes back outside for a smoke. He favours the elements and yearns to be naked in wind and rain, that he might feel something. Some 2 hours after he got up, the house rises. The children leave their dishes in the sink and fight over the bathroom. They are teenagers now, orcs on the move where once were elves. She goes to work, they go to school, he decides to stay at home. The day drifts by. He is inside, he is outside. He walks the dog down to the shore. They see a seal, a heron, a dead calf. He has a cigarette while the dog plays in the salt water. He goes back to the house. He puts the dishes in the dishwasher. He lights the fire. They come home, they eat. They put their dishes in the sink. She watches TV. He has this issue with the smart TV. He feels naked in front of it, even when he is not naked in front of it. Sometimes he is naked in front of it, trying to establish a bond. The kitchen is not kind to him either. The oven, the fridge, the dishwasher, they have notions. He is drawn back outside to the wheelie bins. They comfort him, the wheelie bins. They haven't a notion of having a notion. He thinks a man could go places with a wheelie bin, and he would like to go places. He stands between them, the black refuse bin on his left, the blue recycling bin on his right. He smokes a cigarette. He has a slight preference for the refuse bin. He thinks recycling could lead to having notions. Almost inevitable, really. Fridges weren't always up themselves. If either bin were to go the way of the kitchen appliances, he feels sure it would be the recycling bin. He goes inside, he gets some wine. He walks over to the shelter belt and hears the ocean roar behind it. He looks at the mountain, cragged and ancient, constant. He has never climbed it. That is not what it is for. He doesn't want it to become just ground under his feet. Some days it has a rose glow, others a stormy, brooding countenance. By times it takes advantage of a veil of mist to disappear, to shrug off its mountainous concerns and seek new horizons. But it always comes back. The mountain is faithful. He feels a need to ululate. He has not done so before and has no training in it. How hard can it be? He decides to ululate the word ululate. It is convenient. Ululate, 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 ululate. No, it is not convenient. It has meaning and order and too many consonants. He wants none of it. He tries again with just the vowels. It is better, but something is not right. He retrieves the consonants, but dismisses the letter T. He tries again. Ululate, 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 ululate. It works. He ululates to beat the band. He feels blood coursing through his veins. The dog howls. He senses that if he unlearns language, he could learn to communicate. He thinks only the ineffable should be articulated. He is alive in every fibre of his being. He knows that he could throw the mountains at the stars, drive the ocean back. He feels the presence of the ancient in the air. He hates that the mountain, the ocean, and the stars have names. Why names? Why words? Why? That wisp of cloud below the moon is beautiful. He shouldn't say wisp. He shouldn't say cloud. He shouldn't say moon. He should beat his chest, rip off his pectorals, become one with all of it, swim in the air. He wants to know the ground beneath his feet, to feel the gravel, the dew on the grass, the soil, the sky, the wild Atlantic, the stars, the rivers, the reeds. He wants to know them and for them to know him. To be as one with every dead and dying thing. He wishes for a pelt. He wishes to be some bleached bone in a distant desert. He tires of ululating. It is exhausting. He goes inside. He gets more wine. He stands within the shelter belt of trees and listens to Edith Piaf on his phone. He belts out "Non, je ne regrette rien" and spits wine at the sky. He is a singing man, though most would say he cannot sing. A singing man for all seasons, all weathers, all wounds. He opens up his voice. He reaches a crescendo. He out-Ediths Piaf. He out-Shirley's Bassie. He feels it. He knows. He is callous incarnate. He reaches to the attendant air, the leaves, the twigs, the branches, the sky above, to graciously accept their accolades. He takes a bow. He stumbles. He grabs at a young branch to halt his fall, but it gives way under his weight. He lands face down in detritus. He briefly wonders, could he live on it? He bites his tongue. He ululates with feeling now, while spitting detritus and blood. He has reached another level, a higher plane. He soars. He rubs his face in leaves, in twigs, in soil and bird shit. He runs his fingers through the earth, stretches in it, savours it. He is as one with it. He turns. He lies on his back. He searches the night sky for stars, sees only satellites, imagines worse, rockets. The elite of the human herd, prize bulls, bringing their flat earth theories to distant planets. Profit and loss, productivity, yoga most foul. Oh Christ, no. He has to stop them. Orchestrate an uprising, conjure up calamity, make oceans rise and stars collide and mountains roar. Summon all triffids to strangle, entangle and choke. There's so much sand. You'll call on sand to make a stand. And then, the four Sheila gigs of the apocalypse, righteous, feminine, feminist, furious, will scorch the earth, their vulvas blazing wonder back into this world. But no, he knows. He knows. He knows. He wakes on a completely different day like any other. He doesn't dally. His heart's not heavy. He dresses, he goes to town. He knows not why. He knows why. It is something to do. Every now and again, for no apparent reason, despite clear contradiction, he likes to have something to do. He drives, he parks, he pays, he walks around. He studies the herd in its natural habitat. He looks at people as they pass him by. He wonders if they are splintering too. The wounded walk among us, he thinks. In plain sight, we look away, ahead, anywhere, but not at them. We should stop, hug them, hold them, heal them, cradle them in loving arms, but no. He doesn't like being in town. He finds no path among its pavements. He fears being accosted for his lack of purpose in being there. He stops. He sits on a bench outside a shopping centre. He smokes. A child talks to him, a girl of 5 or 6. She tells him that she is going for an ice cream. He smiles. He says, "That's nice." She says it again, as though he hadn't heard her and replied. He smiles awkwardly. He doesn't say, "That's nice." "I'm going for an ice cream." He looks around for her mother or father, but she seems to be alone. "I'm going for an ice cream." He starts to panic. What if she cries? What if she screams? What if she kicks him? He has children of his own. He knows how quickly they turn nasty. He hurries away. He rounds a corner. He slows. His breathing eases. He walks beside the river. People sitting, chatting, laughing. He loves being in town. He decides to have a coffee outside a cafe by the river. In the sun. Across the way, a swim away, a woman with a broom is sweeping down the outside of her building. Cobwebs, perhaps, or leaves. She wears a flowing dress that rises up her haunches as she reaches overhead. Her dress rises and falls, tightens and becomes slack as she brushes up and down. Male gaze bad, mustn't look. Married, shouldn't look. Haunches, he thinks, are a great bit of kit, but he knows. He knows. He knows. He thinks about the female gaze and basking in its glow. It didn't happen to him often, but enough to know he misses it. How fine it was, how fine it was. Can still occur on rare occasions, a whisper from the past. A summer evening in a pub, a winter's night at an opening. He feels the gaze, eyes meet and hold, then look away. There is a quickening. 2 years ago it happened last, him idling on a city street, watching people passing by. Some months since he'd seen more than fields, the colour, the noise, the smells, the shapes of people, the way they moved, the ethnicities, the hustle, the bustle. A woman stops in mid-stride, looks directly at him, raises her eyebrows, dares him, snares him, opens a door for him. His doubt wins out. He looks away. She shrugs, good-humoured, not rebuffed, walks on. She leaves him with his loss. He saw her again a week ago, or maybe 2, on an arts show talking about an exhibition in London. An image on the screen of a pear in a glass case that sold for 95,000. Is there still time in his decline for love and pears? Sweet juices trickling down his chin. He wouldn't know where to begin. That moment, though, still glows within when she saw fit to gaze at him. His mind let stray, let play away, is faithful to her memory. What might have been, his thoughts toy with what might have been.
This is called My Favorite Shrew. You're my favorite tree. You're my favorite climb from the roots to the tips of your very green leaves. My favorite tree. You're my favorite sound. You're my favorite sound. No, the one where the words come out all wrong. My favorite sound. You're my favorite drug. You're my favorite drug. Inconveniently or in powder form or in tablet form, and I still am my body absorbs you. You're my favorite drug. Yeah. Just a girl I used to know. Just a girl I used to know. Just a girl I used to know. I know now. Yeah, and I will again. 'Cause you're my favorite tree. This is Karl. Don't give your love away so easy. In my head, my heart's on fire. I've been watching you all night. When you're good, you're good. Yeah, you smile. Shake it to the limit. Walk that extra mile. But you, when you're gone, you're gone, and I'll sing you a love song, sing you a lullaby, baby darling. When the night shines through, I'll make my move. You just turn away. Jesus Christ, been here and gone. What a terrible place to be. I'm in the eye of the storm. That back was like a fire-wind tree. Oh my Lord, don't you bother me, 'cause I'm as tired as a man can be. And I gave my love away so cheap. In my bed tonight, here beside me, I can see you're asleep. Your eyes are still, your hair is white, and your lips are smiling. Are you dreaming I used to be? But you, when you're gone, and I'll sing you a love song, sing you a lullaby, baby darling. When the night shines through, I will make my move. You just turn away. Jesus Christ, been here and gone. What a terrible place to be.